Hey, you're listening to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973. Here's your host, Shane Lakita.
Hey, good morning, folks. It is the Thursday morning on the early parts of December where it's freezing cold up here in Scarborough, Maine. I'm here today on a little bit of a special day. It's a special day only because it's another one of those sessions that I'm doing with you guys on the audio side of everything, where I am actually looking into a little camera over here, and I am recording the beginning section of it to be able to post on Instagram and some of the other social media platforms, so that way we can get a little bit of the inside scoop and inside look at what I'm doing whenever I'm recording a podcast or those kind of things, to give people the early stages or the early set image of what it looks like whenever I'm sitting here talking to all of you people on a microphone who are sitting there with your headphones on, and I'm talking directly into your ears. And that's really interesting, but it's awesome and amazing. So I just wanted to reach out and let you guys know that piece, because I may have to step away for just a second to be able to stop a recording of the video side of it, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. So we're post Thanksgiving, right? We're post Thanksgiving. We're post all of the beginning two sections of the holidays. I know in the last podcast I talked a lot about making sure you set yourself up for success moving forward. And now we're in the throes of December, right? Where we have candy canes and sugar plums and all of these wonderful treats that you can think of as we are rolling through the December timeframe. And here we are sitting there thinking to ourselves, how do I get through it? Right? Okay, so here we are. We got through Halloween. Whether you were successful or not, it's all right. You got through it. We're past that. We got through Thanksgiving, where we were eating turkey and gravy and all kinds of other stuff, and we got past that. Okay, so even if you were not successful with that, you're still successful. So we got past all that, and now we're heading into Christmas time. The holiday season, whether you celebrate Hanukkah, whether you celebrate Christmas, whatever you're celebrating, it's usually layered in there with sweet treats and foods and all kinds of stuff you probably shouldn't be having, including hot chocolate with marshmallows on top of it and those kind of things. And whether it's the food aspect of it, or whether it's just the unhealthy, maybe for instance, you're having a party every single night and you're going out drinking every single night. You're not really a drinker, but you go out all those nights and you go have beverages with coworkers or with family and everything else. So it's difficult. Whether you try to play it off like it's not, or you play it off like it is, or it isn't, then you need to understand that it is difficult. I mean, we all know it's difficult. I know it's difficult for me. That's the only reason why I share it. And it's the only reason why I'm apprehensive about everything. And it's tough to be able to get through all of the things that you're trying to get through. Stay healthy, stay on track, stay on point, do all the things you need to do, stay focused like you would maybe during the summertime, or like you might be during the spring or the fall, or after the new year when everybody has those New Year's resolutions and we're hopping into the gym and we're doing all those things. It's easier to do it during those time frames, but right now it's really difficult because it's normal. It's normal to celebrate with folks and be with family and be with friends and have festive activities and do all those things that you normally would do during the Christmas time and during holiday season. So it's really important to stay on track each one of the days that you're trying to roll through the holidays. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect, and it doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself of everything you love. But it does mean to be mindful of the things. If that is something that's important to you, to be healthy or to maintain a certain weight or do certain things, it's so very important to be mindful of what you're trying to do each day during the holiday season. Now, we all know as the nights get darker, quicker, right? And it feels like we're at 5 o'clock, it feels like it's like 9 o'clock in the evening. So the darkness sets in quicker and the temperatures are getting colder. And so we just want to hunker down and do the things that make us comfortable and make us a little bit more warm and feeling like we are hunkered down and just feeling festive, or like we want to stay warm in this cold temperature in this cold time of season. So I share that with you because if you could just set that 1 foot forward to be mindful, one little bit, a small amount each day, that you can say, okay, so I know the party's coming up, or I know the potluck's coming up, or I know this is coming up. So what do? I don't know. Should I? I'm gonna be mindful and maybe have a couple bites or a couple things here and there, and just be mindful enough that I'm successful at what I'm trying to do. Okay. So think about that. That's not what the podcast is about. But that's what I wanted to open it up with, because I know it's on my mind, and I'm sure it's on a lot of your minds also, of different things that are coming up that you want to make sure that you're successful with and you don't just go off the rails, okay? So first of all, I'm going to step out real quick and just be able to hit the stop on the recording button. Thanks to all you joining me on the video aspect of it. But as you know, if you want to subscribe, just go on to either Podbean or any of the social or the podcasting platforms like iTunes and all of those, and you can sign up for and subscribe to the podcast at Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973. We'll see you guys later on the video. Okay, so now I'm back with you guys. Hello, it's just me and you. It's intimate, you and me. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys today for the podcast was it stood out to me yesterday when I was having a conversation with someone. And somebody had said to me, as we were talking about the day, and we were going out to do some volunteering, which is always a heartwarming thing, and my work team that I'm compadres with, and we go out and we work really hard for what we do throughout the whole entire area of New England. We wanted to give back, so we decided we were going to volunteer yesterday at a elderly home, an assisted living home, and it was right downtown Portland, Maine, and it's always so heartwarming, because what we do is we volunteer every year there now for the last 3 years, and we go from floor to floor. There's like 6 floors in the whole entire building, and we go from the top floor all the way down to the bottom, and on each one of the floors, they have a empty tree that's there. And so they have a schedule set out that is going to be tree trimming time periods. So at the top floor, we would start at like 1 o'clock, and we would start trimming the tree, and we start putting up decorations and lights and all the things. And each floor has a bundle or a basket of ornaments that they have on each one of the floors. And so we go in, we grab the ornaments, and we hang them up. And with the time periods that they've sent out to all of the community that lives in this high-rising elderly community, what they do is that they have some of the folks that want to come out and trim the tree. They can come and celebrate with that. They can have eggnog. They have a little bit of cookies and things like that or whatever out. And they have Christmas carols going. Oh, we actually supply the Christmas carols. So there we are on all 6 of the floors with all of my coworkers, and we had some floors had some engagement with some of the folks that were there that wanted to come out and decorate the tree, and then we had a really good showing at the very bottom floor, which is the main lobby area, which was so heartwarming when you had them putting some of the decorations up, and we're taking pictures, and we're all the good things that were there. And it was just a small little gesture that we could do to give back to the community. But I love doing that during the holidays anyway. And what better opportunity to do it with some of my coworkers, that we were able to go and give back to some of the folks that have lived long and prosperous lives, but now might be a little bit lonely when they're sitting in the assisted living homes and things like that. And these are the ways that we can give back to those folks that gave so much, even if it wasn't through military or anything, but they've just lived a full life as American citizens, and people that were side by side, and maybe they were engineers, or maybe they were boat workers, or maybe they were seamstresses, or whatever else that they've done in their lifetime. They've lived a long life, and they deserve to at least be taken care of for at least one moment in time, that we can do whatever we can to be able to give back. So I recommend that to you guys. Number one, for the soul, you got to go out and you got to give back to others. You got to take care of other people. Do that for yourself. I know that sounds kind of counterproductive, but you have to do that for yourself along with doing it for others. But do it for yourself. It makes you feel better. It puts you in a better place. It puts a smile on your face. It gives you a boost of energy. You feel like you're giving back to other people. And that's a really important aspect of the things that we're trying to do in this journey. I mean, we may be looking at trying to be healthy. We may be looking at trying to be somebody that is, losing weight, or exercising, or climbing to the top of mountains, or going to CrossFits, or doing whatever we can do to be successful, to be healthy, and all those things. But at the end of the day, it really is about the mindset of where you're at. And if your mindset is in the right place and you're giving back to others, why wouldn't you think that would set you up for success to be able to move forward? I know for me, it really right-sizes everything, and it calibrates my brain, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I got all this garbage going on a lot of times. I got noise going on. I got life going on. I got family issues going on. I got all this other stuff that just comes down and is rolling down the pipeline. And the only way that I right size myself to feel good about the things that are going on or feel good about the direction that I'm moving in is if I'm giving to others and I know that I can make someone else feel good in this world, that I know that I've made an impact on them. It brings me back to reality to say, hey, you know what? My life really isn't as bad as what I might think it is. Or it also may think to myself, I've given back to other folks. So someday, if life is really, really tough for me, it's going to come back tenfold for me also. And so these little things that you do when you're giving back to others and you're being philanthropic, or you're volunteering, or you're doing whatever it takes for you to make it necessary for you to be successful and give back to others, trust me, I'm telling you right now, it feels really good of where you're at. Okay. So while we were having this conversation, we were over there and we were volunteering and we're doing all the things that we needed to do. One of the folks that I was volunteering with was talking about greatness. We were talking about sports and we're talking about all kinds of stuff. And what he said to me is that, one of the things that he tries to do is he wakes up and he tries to be great at everything that he does. And he tries to really dig in to the fact that if he's going to have a job, he's going to be the greatest at that job. And if he's going to have a sport that he plays, he wants to be the greatest at that sport that he plays. And we were talking about it, and it sparked really good dialogue because I asked the question, and of course there was a pause behind it, but I asked the question of, well, how do you find great? Everything that we try to do, we use terms like we want to be great at it, make it great, do this, that, and the other, make it a great day, or have a great day, and those kind of things. But what necessarily is great? Right? Do we set ourselves up for failure because we set our expectations so high that great is something that is just a grand, huge, ginormous thing that we're trying to be able to accomplish? Or is great something that is achievable, that you can maximize through and be able to hit whenever you're going throughout your day? Is great something that is a pipe dream, right? Is great something that it would never really be achieved, but you just kind of have to set your goals there because it's the right thing to do, and you gotta keep pushing forward and do the things that are necessary for you to be great. And if you hit the goals that you're trying to look for, we'll keep striving for more, or whatever. However, coaches go through it. We've all been through it all over the place, where we try to be able to not settle for just mediocrity, but we keep on pushing forward. But what is great? Can you define what great is in your life? So if you want to achieve great things or you want to do amazing things, then what are those things? And can you define those? And can you quantify those things when you're trying to accomplish them? Is it more of a holistic thing that you just want to kind of be great and feel great and do those things? Because there is some quantitative amounts of things that you can really think about when you're talking about feeling great. Whether it's your health-wise, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's just the energy to go do stuff, all those things, they matter. All of them do. So you could feel great about something, but what about when you say, I want to be great, or I want to do great things? What is great? What are your goals that you want to accomplish? And have you really looked at them and right-sized them at any given time? And change them around a little bit whenever you're trying to set goals and trying to set aspirations and do things for you that you want to accomplish in your life. But if you're looking at those things, have you right-sized those? Because maybe some of them aren't achievable. That's really the point that we were talking about as I was having a conversation with him, was he was talking about these huge things. And mind you, I know I never live in the space of thinking to myself that I can't do something. Because if I live in that space, then I won't go do it. But if I live in the space of I can do anything I set my mind to, then that's perfect. That's awesome. But realistic, remember, I talked about it before. You have to be a realistic optimist. You got to think to yourself, I can accomplish something, but is it realistic that I accomplish that? Is it realistic for me to say to myself, I'm going to be a millionaire next week? No, it isn't. Is it realistic for me to say that I'm going to lose the 50 pounds that I'm trying to lose in a month time frame? No, it isn't. So realistic goals and really kind of setting the bar to where you need it to can give you that sense of greatness as you accomplish the things when you're rolling down the road to accomplish them. And it's important for you and important for me to make sure that I calibrate it. If you've got a dream board and you set it up on the wall and you sit there and you have a picture of a Lamborghini or a Ferrari and you got a picture of money or you got a picture of vacations or whatever else, that's awesome, right? And in business, we tend to do that a lot of times. We set out dreams and aspirations of business-wise of things that we want to accomplish, and those are the things that I'm going to push forward in the business aspect of it to make enough money that I can accomplish those things, or to have the benefits that I have to have a healthy family, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And those are great. But what happens a lot of times with the dream boards are we throw them up on the wall and then we just leave them there. And then we just keep on looking at it going, man, it would be nice if I can ever get that. Or it'd be nice if I can accomplish the fact that I want to be able to go towards getting my little Ferrari that I'm trying to shoot for, or healthy family, or those kind of things. And we don't adjust, and we don't pivot, and we don't look at that dream board as something that is a moving target. Because we think to ourselves, if I set a goal for something and I want to accomplish it, I need to accomplish that first before I move on to anything else. Negatory. That's not the direction you should move in. The direction you should move in is say to yourself, okay, while I'm trying to get to that right there, then what are some smaller, finite goals that I can accomplish or reach or build on the momentum towards getting to where I want to be eventually? Then great, let's have a big goal and then we'll have smaller goals. And I know you've heard me many times talk about it on this podcast, is realistic goals and celebrating in those are so important. But remember, even those little goals that you're trying to set out for yourself, make sure that you're right-sizing those and you're setting them along the path of what you're really trying to accomplish in the big grand scheme of things, and then celebrating them. If you accomplish them, you're going to feel like you're in the space of being great. You're going to feel like you're accomplished. You're going to feel like you are on top of the world. And that's really the important part of it. I opened this whole podcast with the fact that the mindset is the major portion of this whole entire journey. It's the major drawback and it's the major push forward. If you've got the right mindset and you're thinking to yourself, I got this and I can accomplish this, and look what I did yesterday, and I've got this goal and I just accomplished that and I'm moving forward, you're in the zone, you're feeling like you can't be touched. It's almost like if you do play sports, it's like if you're shooting the basketball or whatever sports you're playing. I remember when I used to play basketball, and if I was shooting the ball and I was in the zone, I was hitting everything, man. It felt like, I'm unstoppable. That mindset is important to the journey as well. Because when you get in that mindset, you capitalize on that momentum and you capitalize on that positivity and that push forward, and you're not in the zone of the muck and the mire, but you are in the zone of I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to. And that's really important. So that's the first part, right? The mindset. If you're in that zone, really, even goals, when you're looking at goals, you look at that goal up there with that Lamborghini, that Ferrari, and you say, I got this. Like, I'm going to get that, no problem, when you're in that zone. But 90% of the time, we're in the other zone of our brains, the other mindset, because human nature brings us down the road of just being a pessimist or a negative person or somebody that doesn't believe in ourselves or a doubter, or the devil's advocate side of everything. Well, do you really think you really need a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? Do you really want that? Is that sensible? I mean, really? Or any of those things, right? You know what I'm saying about the negativity. So our brain works in the space of the negative so much more often than the space of I can do whatever the hell I want to do. And if we can live in the space of changing that viewpoint of life sucks, this isn't working, I don't know if I can accomplish this, I don't know what I can do, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can't accomplish anything, I never finish anything, I've got this long history of failure all my life, I've always been fat, I've always been this, or whatever it is. We always live in the space of the negative words. One of the things that always stands out to me is whenever my wife goes for runs. She's out right now, as a matter of fact, out for a run. And so when she goes for runs, when she gets back from her runs, she gets back and I literally think she could conquer the world. It's a euphoric feeling. The mindset matters to her. So exercise and running does that for her. It's just like when I go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to get off the couch and go to the gym. I don't want to go out in the cold and battle through the snow or the ice or the whatever else and get to the gym and go to it and get there and just have to change out stuff and put on my sneakers after I just had my boots on or whatever else. It's all a chore. But when I get to the gym and I go, that is when the euphoric mindset happens after I'm done with it and I get done with my workout. I go, oh man, what the hell who was I doubting myself? Why did I not want to come to this? This only makes me feel better, and it only puts my mind in the right frame of mind. And so when you're in that right frame of mind, those are the moments that we got to think to ourselves, that's how I want to be. And that's what I got to shoot for all the time. When I wake up first thing in the morning, when I look at myself in the mirror and I'm not really happy with what I'm seeing, remember how you felt last night when you went to the gym and you got done with the gym. And you're thinking to yourself, man, I can accomplish anything. I'm feeling great. I feel really good. It's all about mindset. Everything is about mindset. And so that mind over matter and overcoming that negativity and overcoming societal norms of what people would say that with the fact that, oh, I got to starve myself or I've got to go to the gym 7 days a week or whatever else. And little things that you can do to move forward to put you in a positive place versus all of the what we might think that society says we have to be. And to be honest with you, just be happy with who you are. At the end of the day, no matter what you look like or how much you weigh or any of those things, you're still a good person. And you're still a giving individual. You're a caring individual. You got nothing but love inside of you for other people. You love your family. You love your friends. All those things. You have so much more to offer than just a number on a scale or a body fat percentage or a weight number that you're lifting or a speed that you're running at, right? You're worth so much more than that. You got to remember those things when you're trying to accomplish the goals and get to a place where you can say, I feel like I'm doing great things. Because if you can get to a place where you feel, and you define what great is, remember we said in the beginning, define what great is. Don't take down those huge numbers up top that you can think of to be great and lower those standards a little bit, right? It doesn't have to be like lowered down to like ground level, but you still need to right size your standards. And take a look at what you're really shooting for, right? And then you can then go, okay, now I feel accomplished. Now I feel great. Now I feel like I felt like after I left the gym and I felt like this is great and I can accomplish whatever it is I set my mind to. And even if those things that you're trying to set your mind to are small, or even if those things you set your mind to are lower than what you were setting before, it's still a sense of accomplishment, a sense of wonderment to know that, wow, I can really do this. This is something that I can accomplish. Those are great things. You got to remember that we got to keep playing down that space, okay? Keep moving down that direction and do the things that are necessary that we can keep moving forward and be successful with everything we're doing. So have a great day, everybody. As I said, a great day that we can make sure we define what great is, set your goals at a place where you need it to be, do things that are going to help you to move forward, achievable goals, celebrating those, and do everything that you need to do to be continuing to move forward, one foot in front of the other. And I know you'll be successful in everything you set your mind to. All right? Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973 podcast. You can also follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Liquidshano 1973. Also, if you get a chance, leave some love on iTunes. Have a great day.